Hello there. High pressure has been the dominant feature in Europe for some time, but it's all about the wind direction, which is changing slowly and introducing some cold air over the next few days. It still stays fine and settled with that high pressure, but the wind's starting to come down from the north, from the Arctic, and that will bring a change to the feel of the story. We've also got a storm across the eastern half of the Mediterranean, keeping things pretty unsettled here, but much of the Med, as you can see quite clearly, is fine and settled. The heaviest of the rain looks likely through Turkey, down through the Greek Isles and mainland Greece. So much of Italy, across the Alps, fine, across the French Riviera and into Portugal and Spain, it's fine and sunny. There's a fair amount of cloud generally through France, through the UK, into Scandinavia and the Low Countries. Those winds starting to change direction, but it's going to be a slow process. So you can see those temperatures perhaps into single figures by then, but the cold air digs down through the middle part of the week. There'll be more in the way of sunshine coming through, but it'll be noticeably colder. So Oslo going from 7 degrees to 0, similar story into London from 12 down to 7 degrees. The outlook for the next 5 days shows a good deal of fine, dry weather, but a cooler theme generally across much of Europe. Further east, it's colder still, and there's likely to be the threat of some snow showers to come across Moscow, with temperatures struggling to climb above freezing by day. Hello there. Quite a bleak start to the new year for much of North America, with bitterly cold air starting to spill down from the Arctic now. And where it bumps into warmer air coming up through the Gulf of Mexico, we've got this plume of cloud, the dividing line really, and that weather front bringing some very heavy rain with it. Behind it, it will turn much colder. You can see into Illinois, the rain turning to snow, and that's going to push its way across the Great Lakes as well during Monday. We're going to see further snow showers across the Rockies. We have seen significant snow generally across the northern and central plains in recent days. A little bit quieter across the west coast. There's a weather front pushing into parts of British Columbia. On the leading edge, yes, there'll be some snow, and you can see quite clearly down to Vancouver, Oregon, into much of California. It's largely fine and quiet. The winds coming from the interior, not particularly cold here at the moment. Temperatures are likely to stay into the mid-teens, but we have got some rain to look out for into Vancouver through the middle of the week. Now, let's move across that east coast, where we'll see some heavy rain through parts of New York State, down into Pennsylvania, eventually into West Virginia. The heaviest of the rain through Nashville, Tennessee. You can see quite clearly still warm air spilling up from the south ahead of it. But once that front moves through, you'll really notice the difference in the feel of the weather. So look at the difference between New York and Tuesday and to Wednesday. Those temperatures easing down considerably. Best way to describe the weather in South America over the next few days. If we take a look at the satellite picture, you can see a stripe of cloud bringing some wet and windy weather into the southern tip of Chile. There's our shower cloud, which will become more extensive as we go through the day. So particularly affecting parts of northern Peru, as you can see, central and southern areas of Brazil and down into Uruguay. Fine and settled, then perhaps a little bit further south of that. Not looking too bad across parts of Venezuela and into Colombia. The heaviest of the showers, as I say, across parts of Brazil, and also affecting Paraguay and down into Uruguay. Now, northern Argentina, not as warm as it can be at this time of year, but at least it's dry and sunny. A similar story into northern Chile, and there's that wetter and windier weather down to the south with snow across the mountains. City forecast then for the next few days shows those showers threatening into Buenos Aires, easing into sunshine. A few showers into Rio, but not too bad. For Mexico, for Central America, it's largely fine and quiet here. Just a few isolated showers, very pleasant indeed. Same too for the Caribbean. As you'd expect at this time of year, it's settled and sunny. Showers will be very isolated indeed, and temperatures likely to peak into the high 20s, low 30s. And the city forecast reflects this. Hardly a cloud in the sky. Threat of a few showers into Havana later on in the week. Hello there. A forecast for Australasia coming up shortly. Let's first of all see what's happening across Asia. And as you can see from the satellite picture, most of the weather action threatening close to southern Thailand and Vietnam at the moment. We could see a storm system develop. Even if it doesn't develop into a storm, there's going to be some very, very heavy rainfall in this area. Further north of that, it's a little bit quieter. A scattering of showers across Japan, largely quiet through the Korean Peninsula. Dry, sunny, but colder across northern China. A little more in the way of cloud through central and southern areas of China. But then, as you can see through Vietnam, the brighter, vibrant colours denoting the intensity of the rainfall. So we'll need to keep an eye on that over the next few days. There has been some heavy rain through the Philippines. That's easing away. City forecast, though, for the next 5 days shows a good deal of fine, dry weather. Not particularly warm in Beijing, but at least there's some sunshine to go with it as well. Now, there's a storm system circulating around the Gulf of Carpentaria. May will strengthen and be named Storm Penny, and that looks likely to track further east. But across much of Australia, it's hot, dry and sunny. And despite a few scattered showers across parts of New Zealand, generally speaking, it's a fine, settled story into New Zealand as well, particularly in many of the major cities. So let's take a look at that over the next few days. As you can see, the emphasis is with the dry, settled weather. Wellington, hardly a cloud in the sky. That looks very nice indeed. That's it. Take care. Hello there. It looks likely that South Asia could have a problem with some fog over the next few days. Not uncommon really at this time of year, particularly through Pakistan and northwest India. So not only will they have some fog, some of it dense in places, and weather warnings will remain in force, but we could also see some frost through clear skies overnight and temperatures falling away. By day, there's a lot of fine, dry weather, as you can see quite clearly, and once the fog lifts, temperatures will start to pick up a little. 22 degrees into New Delhi. We're looking at high 20s, perhaps down through central and southern areas. Now, further north of that, it's quiet, but it's quite cold. As you can see in Kazakhstan, temperatures are struggling to climb above freezing. Turkmenistan down into Afghanistan, we could see a scattering of showers. Those will turn a little more wintry to higher ground as well. Then we head into Pakistan and northern India, which I've already spoken about with the fog and the early morning frost. Further south of that, it's fine, it's settled. Just a little bit of fair weather cloud perhaps into Sri Lanka. But up into those northeastern states, the emphasis is with the dry, sunny story continuing and temperatures into the mid-20s. And in fact, the city forecast illustrates this beautifully. Hardly a cloud in the sky for many cities over the next few days, and temperatures looking quite promising. Once we've got rid of that fog, which could be stubborn, generally speaking to the north as well, there's a lot of sunshine on offer. Hello there. Let's take a look at the weather forecast then for Africa. And if we start off with the latest satellite picture, you can see where the shower clouds are tending to sit. There's also some stormy weather through the Mediterranean at the moment, which is going to affect that northeast coast of Africa as well. So do expect some rain perhaps into parts of Zimbabwe and also into the southern half of Mozambique. We'll also pick up some showers close to that central area. And then to the north through the Mediterranean, across the Libya coastline and maybe the Egypt coastline, we could see some showery outbreaks of rain and a little bit more of a breeze there with the coast close to the Mediterranean. The forecast then for the next 5 days shows those showers easing in Johannesburg and more sunshine coming through. A little bit of rain expected into Nairobi. Khartoum, though, will stay hot, dry and sunny with those temperatures still into the mid-30s. Now let's take a look at the Middle East in a little more detail. The stormy weather in the Mediterranean perhaps affecting the Levant coast and a little more in the way of showers threatening perhaps into northern Iraq and Kuwait as well over the next few days. Elsewhere it's fine, settled and sunny. Temperatures still peaking into the high 20s, I suspect. So that's the story on Tuesday. There'll be a light southerly breeze, not expecting it to cause too much of an issue. City forecast for the next 5 days again shows a good deal of dry weather with just a slim chance of a shower into Kuwait on Thursday.